Yesterday, we did have a major breach here at Druid Hills in the upper lake. The water from the upper lake, of course, flowed into the second lake. That caused a overflow of the second lake, about a 100-yard area, overflowed. A large amount of water was discharged into the third lake. Those that are familiar with the Druid Hills area, it's a series of lakes. The third lake has been controlled water level for the last several years by the City of Meridian Public Works to keep that water level down, because DEQ has identified that dam as being a hazardous dam. So fortunately, the water that was discharged out of the first lake and transferred through the series of lakes did funnel into the third lake. The third lake had the capability to hold that water, and what water it could not hold, it did discharge through its emergency spillway. The City of Meridian then started the drainage process that was already in place. We opened those pipes back up and continued to get more water off of the third lake. We monitored it all day yesterday up until late last night. DEQ dam safety team came out. They did an assessment, and at this point we're just monitoring that third lake just to keep that water level down. We're working diligently to get as much water off as possible. We just hope that the weather holds off and we don't receive any additional rain, which will be a huge factor in getting that water level down to where it needs to be. At this point, we've had no report of injuries, no property damage other than the dam itself. The water, of course, went over the roadway and, of course, was discharged into that third lake. And at this point, we're just continuing to monitor that third dam and hope that it holds up.
And so for the people that live in this area that are going to be immediately affected should the situation arise, what is your message to those people?
So the individuals who live out here are well aware of the situation with these dams. Those that live downstream of the third lake have been advised that we recommend an evacuation if possible. That is just a precautionary measure if we were to have another breach, because we do realize that that dam is listed on the DEQ list of hazardous dams, and the amount of water and volume that has been pushed into that dam. That those people downstream could possibly have some flooding issues if we had a minor breach. If we had a major breach, then yes, you would probably see more flooding, of course. So at this point, we're monitoring that. This morning, it was down much lower than it was last night. So as time goes on, we would hope in the next 48 to 72 hours, we'd feel a lot more comfortable about the level in the third lake.
Okay, and then, and you kind of just touched on that with the 48-hour situation, but how long would this potential evacuation be? I mean, I know it's kind of hard to put
there's no way to put a real timeline on it, and that's going to be based off the weather, and how much rain we get over the next few days. I did check the forecast right before stepping out of the truck, and the forecast is trending to be a little better, which is something that we really expect and we hope could happen. There is the possibility that DEQ will get some additional drainage systems in place to help us relieve some of the pressure off that third lake. We haven't received notifications of when or if that will be able to happen, but we'll continue to keep the drainage open on that lake. We'll continue to monitor the emergency spillway, and just ask the residents downstream, those people who do not choose to evacuate, if you see additional water in the ditches and in the stream that runs behind your property, just notify us and let us get out here and monitor the situation a little closer and see what's going on.
Okay, and I did want to ask you too. You mentioned the history of the trouble with the third lake dam. What is that history for those who are unfamiliar? You don't have to go too deep into it.
It's been several years back, but DEQ came in and did an assessment, and they did place that dam on a hazardous risk level.
And is it because it will be taking on water from two lakes above it?
It has some issues with this emergency spill.
Okay, gotcha. And I do want to ask you too, moving forward, once this breach is repaired and everything, what does forward look like?
Well, that's going to be based off of what the association here at Druid Hills wants to happen. They can come in and have this repaired. It'll have to meet the specs of MDEQ, or they can choose to not have it repaired. If they choose to not do anything, then there will be DEQ will have to make an assessment and see what other measures need to be taken for future to see what needs to do to, because at this point A large rain amount is going to cause a lot larger discharge here. They have recommended that some of this dam be taken out and brought down to the water level where it's at now. That'll be done through a legal process between the city and the homeowners association to see who's ultimately going to be responsible for making that happen if it was to happen.
Is there a way to have 3 lakes here with no trouble spillway and no issues?
That would be something that would have to be addressed by MDEQ, and I feel like that it would have to be, the dams would have to be reworked and worked to a new standard.
Okay, gotcha. Anything you want to say that I did not ask you?
Just, we want to thank the partnerships we have with the county and the Meridian Fire Department, Meridian Police Department, Lima. Clark County came and was prepared to assist yesterday if needed. And we just thank them for those partnerships and being able to all come together, because this could have been much worse than it was. We were very, very fortunate this turned out the way it did. But for the residents here, again, if you see additional water flow downstream of that third lake, we need to be notified.
Okay, and how can they get in touch with you?
Well, if you have questions about whether you're in the danger zone, per se, for down there, if you call our office at 601-484-6890. If I'm not available, just leave a message and I'll get back in touch with you and we'll go over exactly where your residence is and what impact you may see if we were to have a small breach or if we had some kind of catastrophic breach.